Hi guys, this is Connie from Connie's Nails and Creative Creations. Today I am taking part in a challenge that is called the What Would You Do Challenge. There's 14 of us, really excited. What we did is we had a Dollar Tree roulette. We spun the wheel 3 times and we all got the same aisles. We had to go to Dollar Tree, pick one item off of the aisle or more, depending on what you want to do. And now we have created 3 different, I've created 3 different DIYs using those items. So this is going to be fun. I have no clue what everyone else is coming up with. I hope you guys like what I've came up with, and let's get right to it. Okay, let's see what I get on my, for the first project. Let's spin that wheel. Woohoo, it is glassware. So I went to the Dollar Tree and I found this vase, and I also had a little candle holder that was originally from the Dollar Tree, but I got it at a thrift store for 25 cents. So here I am, I'm just taping off a design. Now I was going to go straight around, but I decided that would be too boring, and I put one little peak up on it to give it a little bit of interest. So once I get that all figured out, I was struggling with it for a minute till I figured out exactly what I wanted. I took that tape off a couple of different times until I decided exactly, and that's when I decided to go on that little peak. Now, taking my last of my 6,000, I could hardly get anything out of it, but I got enough to attach this, and then I use hot glue for the short-term E6000 for the long-term bond, and then I go ahead and I stick it right onto the bottom of that vase or decorative glass. I don't know what you call it. I think it was a vase. It was in the vase area. So, but I go ahead and I stick that on, and then I had some of the Dollar Tree caulking around in my stash, so I thought, you know what, I'm not going to paint this, just paint it. I am going to do something else. So I went ahead and I grabbed a popsicle stick or a craft stick, a small one, and I grabbed that and I started just applying it all over that glass. And you can see I'm using the tongue depressor and just moving that around, making sure that I get all the surfaces and that it's got a nice texture on it. I wanted this to end up looking like it was like cement, or yeah, cement. So after I get this done, I set this aside for overnight, and after I pulled off the tape, of course, I sat it aside for overnight to let it just really get dry. I know it dries really fast, but I wanted it to just be really, really dry, and so that I could paint it and make it look like the way I wanted it to look. So after I did that, the next day I've got some gray and I got a old chippy brush, and I'm just going to dry brush that gray right on there until I get it to look the exact way that I wanted it to end up looking. Now, I had no clue what I was going to be doing with this until I got home. I just thought, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to tell you, these things were kind of were a little bit of a struggle trying to come up with different things that you wanted to do with all these items. But like I said, I went ahead and I got it all covered, as you can see, and it looks like cement. Then I'm going to grab just a little votive light from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to sit it right in there and just leave it just like that. Now I could come back and put different things in it, but right now that is all I'm going to do for it. I think it's just simply beautiful, and I hope you guys like it too. And like I said, that's the way it turned out. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. Just beautiful, beautiful. So I can't wait to figure out exactly what I'm going to put in it. And there I've got a little light in it, and you can see it. Okay, now for the second project. Let's spin that wheel and see what I had to work with. Woohoo, it is the kitchen. So, let's see what I ended up making. I went over there and I grabbed these sink mats. Now, I originally grabbed, I had 4. I grabbed 4, and I was going to do 4. And then, as I got going and working on it, I ended up only doing 2. I figured the 4 was just going to be too big. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook them together. I'm going to make a rag rug. So, I've got this fabric I've had for years, and I have 5 yards of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim the edges that are going to be next to each other so it's not such a wide spot. And this is the fabric. It's just birds, all different birds and flowers and blue. And I just decided to cut like 1.5 inch strips, and they're about 6 to 7 inches long, and I'm just going to literally tie these together. I'm not going to show you all of the process because it took me a couple of hours to do it, but I just literally, it's like a tied rag rug, and I've got it in my my bedroom, because my bedroom is in blues and grays and with little pops of different colors, so I thought this would work perfect. And so like you can see right here, I'm literally just tying double knots. One was loosening, so I did 2, and that secured it where it wouldn't come out. Now this rug is beautiful, and it will become more beautiful as time goes, and I'm probably going to go ahead and finish the other side of it because I can still add it together. And here I realized I'd done it wrong, so I had to take it and turn it and figure out exactly what I'd done wrong so that I could get it lined up correctly. These mats, they look like they're square. They're not square. I found that out when I was working with it. So as you can see, I'm just tying those, and those I go back and double time because I start noticing they're loosening. And I just tied on every single little square. I tied 4 ways. It's really thick, it's really soft, and it's really plush. And I'm going to let you sit and watch this process. Here I go again, taking it apart. Going to put it back up, and then I will show you the end result. And here is the little rug. It's going to sit right next to my bed. I hope you guys like it. It's beautiful, and you can't really see too much of that other colors, and I'm showing the back so you can see how it's all tied, and I hope you guys really like this. Okay, project 3 and final project. Let's look at this wheel and see where I'm going. And it's going to be automotive and hardware, or hardware and auto. So I picked out these 2 things. This is a funnel, like an oil funnel, and then some rope. And what I ended up doing was cutting a little piece off the side. Sorry I'm not right in the camera. My hand bumped it and it kind of pushed it off, so you're not quite seeing everything that I'm doing. But I'm ending up cutting the skinny part of the funnel off because I'm not going to be using that part of it. So my X-Acto knife kept coming out, and I was struggling. But I finally got it, and I'm going to have to trim a little bit of the top just to make sure that it is fairly smooth, and then I end up having to sand some of it. It's still not completely smooth, but that's okay, because what I end up doing with it doesn't matter. So here I am sanding it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that rope and I'm going to hot glue it on that funnel all the way around. As you can see, I'm starting, and I used a lot of hot glue. I wanted that to stay, so I glued it all down, and I made sure that the rope was really tight together, and I just put it all on that complete outside of that funnel, so it's completely covered. And that was a hot process. I kept getting hot glue on my fingers. Luckily, my fingers don't burn very easily. I don't usually get burned by it. Usually I just rub it off, and if I do, I put a little bit of lavender oil on it. It takes the burn away. So here it is, all finished. It's completely covered. Now I've got this dish that I got from a thrift store, and it was like 75 cents. It's beautiful, but I never knew what to do with it. I wasn't really I didn't really like the color the way it was. So this is what I am going to do. I'm going to start with, because it's too cold to go outside and spray paint anything, and it takes forever to dry when it's so cold. So I just grabbed my Mod Podge, and I completely covered the outside with Mod Podge. That way, when I start to paint, the paint will adhere to the Mod Podge, and it won't crack, it won't peel, it won't split, it won't chip. It kind of gives it a base to grab the paint to grab onto. So I'm going to sit and let you watch me do this for just a moment. Okay, now I'm taking my white acrylic, my black acrylic paint, and I'm just painting the whole outside of this bowl. I ended up putting 2 coats of black paint on the outside to get a full, complete coverage. Okay, once I got that done, I grabbed the cone and I completely covered every bit of that green with the black paint, and I really went over it really well, and I made sure there was no green showing. Now I'm grabbing while that dries, I grabbed my Mod Podge again, and I put it completely coated the inside of the bowl because I want to paint it white. I didn't like the color that it was, so I'm going to go ahead and color or paint or cover that whole inside with the Mod Podge. Okay, now I'm taking my white chalk paint that I made, and I'm completely painting the inside of this bowl. Then that way it makes it look fresher and not so yellow, because the original had like a yellow tint to it. I didn't like that. So then after that I did 2 coats. Then I completely coat it with the Mod Podge. That's going to keep it from cracking, chipping, or peeling. Now I'm grabbing that same white and I'm just going to drag it over this the funnel and the rope, and it gives this beautiful ridge effect that I absolutely love. It ends up being completely gorgeous. Okay, now I'm taking that same white chalk paint and I'm just dry brushing over the outside of this bowl, and it picks up on those ridges and it ends up looking beautiful, as well as it kind of matches the cone, except for the cone's going the other way, but I just think just turns out beautiful. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm going to also do the Mod Podge over it to seal it in. So the whole thing is going to be sealed in. Now, because my E6000 was dead, I'm going to use super glue. So it's a Gorilla Glue super glue, and I end up putting that on as well as the hot glue so that I can put it onto the on the bottom of that bowl. And this ends up being absolutely gorgeous. I end up putting also some Gorilla Glue down in the cone so that it's sealing it from the inside as well. And that first time when you saw me do the hot glue, I was building up a spot that was a little bit lower, so I wanted to level it out. That's what I was doing. Now I'm putting it on, and I'm just going to push it right down, and I'm going to seal it to the bottom of that bowl. And then this is how it turned out. It's absolutely gorgeous. Don't forget to go down and hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, as well as hit the notification bell. I hope you guys ended up really liking this. I really liked it. Thank you. And don't forget, be the Bible that somebody reads today, and have a blessed day. Bye.